How I plan to tell my daughter how she came to be. It's very important for me to have an open relationship with my daughter. I want her to know the truth about everything. I don't want to be one of these parents who lies to their kid about anything, even embarrassing things. So that's the kind of parenting style that I intend to have. So that said, naturally, I'm going to be honest about how she came to be. And for me, I think the first thing was that I have to be 100% confident in my decision, which I am, right? And everything I do, whether I'm going against the grain or not, I'm always 100% confident in any decision I make or anything that I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. So the fact that I'm very confident in my decision, I think is going to play a really big role in how I introduce that truth to my daughter. And for me, it's just normalizing it. It's just talking about it like it's very normal. Not making it this big deal. And early on in the process with the clinic that I went with, they require that you speak with a counselor about your IVF journey and things like that, things of that nature. And so I remember asking the counselor like any suggestions and things on how to bring the conversation up with my daughter. And one of the tips, the biggest tips I got is to start having a conversation from early on, right? So age 3, 4 is when to start bringing that conversation up, and just bring it up casually, you know. For me, it's planning to tell my daughter, like in a form of a story, maybe of how she came to be, so that as she gets older, it's just something that she knows. It's just very natural for her. So yeah, so that's how I plan on telling my daughter. So I definitely plan on telling her, and I have somewhat of an idea of how. Thank God she's only 4 months now, so I have some time to figure it out. But even now, I joke around with her. I know she doesn't understand me, but just for me to get comfortable in how I bring it up, I joke around like sometimes when she passes gas, I'm like, "Oh, you got that from your donor," you know, like I'll make little jokes like that. And that's honestly how I intend to bring it up, and hopefully that's okay with her. And I think the important thing is for me when she's old enough to start communicating her feelings, is for me to allow for her to open up to me and tell me how she feels about it. And hopefully we can handle it ourselves. If not, counseling and therapy. We'll do it. She wouldn't be the first child to not have a father in her life. I guess what I would tell any single mother by choice who's maybe battling with this question is, one, how do you feel about your decision? That will dictate how you go about it with your child.